Your life begins with a horror movie scenario. You are being eaten alive before you've even fully hatched. You kick free from your egg, but you aren't alone. A microscopic vampire is clamped onto your tail, chewing through your flesh. You manage to rip it off, losing a piece of yourself in the process. Welcome to the world. Around you, a cloud of 99,000 siblings enters the water. It's not a nursery, it's a slaughterhouse. A predator arrives, a larval eel with jaws like jagged glass. It slashes through the school, snapping up 6 of your brothers in a heartbeat. Then it locks on to you. You have 0 defenses, no teeth, no speed. So you lie, you stop moving, flare your fins, and drift. To the eel, you aren't a tasty fish anymore. You look exactly like a toxic, drifting piece of jellyfish debris. It's a desperate bluff. The eel hesitates, sniffs, and moves on. You survived by pretending to be garbage. But don't celebrate. You have to pull off this exact same scam 400 more times just to survive the week. The odds are mathematically impossible. Out of this massive cloud of hatchlings, almost everyone is going to be dead within 72 hours. You are the anomaly. But surviving the predators is easy compared to the next trap. Watch to see why finding food is actually worse than starving.
In the deep ocean, if you find a free meal, you are the meal. You are 5 days old and feeling invincible. You've mastered the art of ambush, hiding in algae to snatch tiny prey. Then you pick up a scent trail that drives you crazy. Blood, massive amounts of it. You follow the trail to a dying flying fish thrashing on the surface. It's a feeding frenzy. Dozens of other larvae are already there, ripping the fish apart. It looks like an all-you-can-eat buffet that will keep you full for days. You dive in, tearing off a chunk of meat. You're so focused on the prize that you don't notice the shadow looming underneath. A skipjack tuna, essentially a biological missile, slams into the group. It doesn't target one of you, it inhales 20 of you at once. Panic hits. You instantly revert to your trash mode. Limp body, flared fins. You tumble blindly through the water as jaws snap inches from your head. When the water clears, the flying fish is gone. Half your generation is gone. You're floating alone in the silence, realizing that the best luck you ever had was actually a death trap. You survived the surface, but now you have to go down. Subscribe, where your body literally starts to melt. Evolution is about to torture you. You've grown enough to trigger puberty, but for your species, that means self-destruction. It starts with your vision. Your eyes don't just fail, they start dissolving into your head. You are going blind, and it hurts, but you can't stay here. A compulsion in your brain screams at you to swim down. As you sink into the abyss, your bones start warping. Your fins are stretching out, elongating into skeletal stilts that drag behind you. It feels like being pulled apart on a rack. You pass 1,000 meters, 2,000 meters. Your swim bladder is crushed by the pressure. By the time you hit the seafloor at 4,000 meters, you are a monster. You are blind, your face is deformed, and your fins are 3 times the length of your body. You have traded your sight and your speed for the ability to exist in crushing darkness. You have reached the midnight zone. It's freezing, pitch black, and empty. This is your new home for the next 3 years. Now that you're a blind mutant at the bottom of the sea, how do you eat? It involves doing absolutely nothing. Imagine standing on 1 foot, in the dark, for 3 years. That's your life now. You've stopped swimming. Your long, skeletal fins act like a tripod, holding you perfectly still above the mud. You are a living statue. You wait 4 hours for a single tiny shrimp to drift by. You snap it up. That's 90 calories, but you burned 80 just staying alive to catch it. You are living on a razor's edge of starvation. And then you get a roommate. A tiny parasitic bug lands on your back. It pierces your skin and starts drinking. It's too far back for you to bite, and your fins are too stiff to scratch it off. It settles in. Over the next few months, it grows fat on your blood. Then it lays eggs. Suddenly, you have a whole family of parasites living on your spine. They tax 10% of everything you eat. You have to hunt more to feed them, but hunting burns energy you don't have. It's a slow-motion disaster. You are working yourself to death just to keep your parasites fat and happy. You are slowly fading away. You're lonely, starving, and infested. But wait, is that another fish nearby? The worst date in history. You destroy your own body to find a mate, and they leave you immediately.
You catch a chemical signal in the water, another tripod fish. You abandon your post and drag your heavy, weak body across the sea floor. It's a 4-hour marathon just to move 20 feet. When you finally meet, it's tragic. They are just as infested and dying as you are. You don't even have a gender anymore. The stress of the deep sea has forced your body to become both male and female simultaneously. You release a cloud of genetic material. They do the same. It's a chaotic, desperate attempt to create life before you both expire. And that's it. No connection, no teaming up to hunt. Your partner simply turns around and limps away into the darkness. You are left standing in the mud, realizing that the chemical cocktail you just released probably won't even work. You spent weeks of stockpiled energy for a reproduction attempt that likely failed. You are more alone now than you were before. You're running on fumes, but something huge just crashed nearby, a feast of kings. But see why you won't get a single bite. The only thing worse than no food is seeing a mountain of food you can't touch. A dead whale hits the bottom, 50 tons of fat and muscle. It's the jackpot. You push your dying body to the limit, walking 9 hours to get to the crash site. You expect salvation. You find a war zone. The carcass is covered in aggressive scavengers, violent rat tails, burrowing hagfish, and massive sleeper sharks. The water is thick with gore. You try to step in, but you were built for stillness, not combat. A fish slams you aside. A hagfish nearly drags you into the carnage. You stand there, 5 feet away from enough calories to last you a lifetime, and you can't get a single scrap. Your delicate, stilt-like fins make you the weakest creature in the pit. You watch the feast for 3 days until the bones are picked clean. You walk home with an empty stomach, having burned the last of your reserves chasing a dream. This was the final blow. The tank is empty. The story is ending. For the quiet, undignified finale. You don't go out with a bang, you just stop. You find your old partner again. You are both standing in the dark, immobile, waiting for the end. A massive 6-gill shark glides out of the gloom. It sniffs you, decides you're too skinny to bother with, and turns to your partner. Snap, gone in one bite. The shark leaves. You are standing next to the empty space where the only other member of your species used to be. You try to run, but your hydraulic system is jammed. You are frozen in fear. Eventually, you relax, but you never move again. A week later, your heart gives out. It's not dramatic, you just collapse into the silt. The parasites on your back realize the ride is over and crawl away. Tiny crustaceans arrive to eat your eyes. You beat 99,000 to 1 odds at birth. You survived the metamorphosis. You endured the crushing pressure. And in the end, it didn't matter. You were erased by the dark, leaving nothing behind but 3 long bones. That was the miserable life of the tripod fish. But believe it or not, there is an animal that has it even worse. Subscribe to find out who.